Shalom. I want to start out by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, Kol Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. I just want to read this article and then jump into some scriptures. Again, Iran is pulling its gold out of the Federal Reserve because the United States dollar bill is collapsing. And several nations are actually following suit, as in taking their gold out of the Federal Reserve. So I just want to point this out. I want to read this article. Tehran will never bow to U.S. pressure, Iranian general, right? And which is a powerful statement because it shows that American influence is dwindling, and confidence of Iran, Russia, Syria, Turkey, there is growing. All right, so I'm just going to read this. Iran, most senior military commander, blasted the U.S. and its allies for intervening across the Middle East and West Asia while speaking at the 6th Indian Ocean Naval Symposium on Monday. Tehran will never bow to the will and pressure of the U.S. and its allies, Chief of General Staff of Iranian Armed Forces Major General Mohammad Bagheri said at the conference, which gathered military leaders from 35 countries, including India, Turkey, and Australia. This year's symposium is being held in Tehran. According to a dispatch from Mehr News Agency, the general spoke about the dissolution of the traditional bipolar world order. And the rise of new powers in the East and West. Certain powers and regional actors are unwilling to accept the facts of the new world, he said. Bagheri later got more specific. He called out the recent U.S. and U.K. France-backed missile strikes on several targets in Syria as illegal, which accords with what University of Illinois' international law professor Francis Boyle told Radio Sputnik in the aftermath of the attack. Bagheri also criticized London, Washington, and Paris for exporting weapons to various countries in the region, such as Saudi Arabia, to plunge the Middle East into war. Again, the United States of America, Saudi Arabia, and Israel are in bed with each other to create unrest, destabilization in the Middle East. All right, fact. While U.S. media outlets have been quick to call attention to chaos and tragedy as it arises in Syria, perhaps especially to versions of events that can be used to call for military intervention in the country, far less attention has paid to Yemen, where Saudi Arabian bombs supported by U.S. technology as well as a naval blockade have created the world's worst humanitarian crisis. All facts. This guy's just telling the truth. All right. The widespread military presence of certain major powers and their interventions in the Indian Ocean region has caused nothing but further insecurity, such as the relentless airstrikes on Yemeni people, the general pointed out. All right, all facts. All right, and this goes back to Project Timber Sycamore. And again, there is no end to the Syrian war conflict. The United States of America is still planning ways to overthrow Assad, all right, because they need the oil and really for security reasons as well now, because the American dollar is failing, the economy is failing, and Iran's influence and power is growing, as well as Russia. All right. So I'm going to pull up Timber Sycamore. All right. Timber Sycamore was a classified weapons supply and training program run by the United States Central Intelligence Agency and supported by various Arab intelligence services, most notably that of Saudi Arabia. Launched in 2012 or 2013, it supplied money, weaponry, and training to rebel forces fighting Syrian President Bashar al-Assad in the Syrian civil war, al-Nusra, ISIS, all right, which is why Turkey is jumping ship, because they're funding their enemies, and they already know the way the United States does that. They'll fund enemies, allow their allies to fight with their enemies, and when you get weak enough, they'll go ahead and overthrow you. All right. According to U.S. officials, the program has trained thousands of rebels, terrorists. President Barack Obama secretly authorized the CIA to begin arming Syria's embattled rebels in 2013. Again, when it suits the United States of America's cause, they call them rebels or freedom fighters. But in reality, they are terrorists. All right. However, the CIA had been facilitating the flow of arms from Libya to Syria. Okay, that's where they overthrew Muammar Gaddafi. Saudi Arabia got that stockpile of weapons, and they've been taking those weapons and giving them in the hands of who? Al-Nusra, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, for more than a year beforehand in collaboration with the UK, United Kingdom, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar, which Turkey is jumping ship. All right, and the United Kingdom created the white helmets, okay, as a propaganda machine, and they give them money, millions of dollars, to the white helmets, who are indeed terrorists. All right, they're part-time white helmets, part-time terrorists. All right, and they give the flow of arms to them, and which they funnel it to Al-Nusra and Al-Qaeda, ISIS. All right, and the intelligence agency knows this. All right, the United Kingdom, United States, Saudi, they all know it. All right, so now I'm going to pull up this video again. This is a video proving that the white helmets are indeed terrorists. It's a terrorist compound, and you're finding white helmets there. See, Al-Nusra, white helmets, okay. They
Syrian rescue group known as the White Helmets has
which that is a fake video right there. You notice on cue you hear people in the background scream and that person move on cue. I just made a video about this. White helmets are terrorists created by the United Kingdom, and the United Kingdom and the United States are funneling them millions of taxpayer dollars.
And yet the hero of the footage put a photo on Facebook from the production. In his poster, he praises the White Helmets, thanking them for his rescue.
Here's white helmets with ISIS, Al-Nusra, Al-Qaeda, terrorists. You see the gentleman in the middle, he's holding a ISIS flag. He's flying the black flag while terrorists shooting weapons in the air. You don't see that on MSNBC, CNN. Instead, they praise them as heroes. Why? Because the military-industrial complex controls CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, controls Washington Post, controls New York Times, controls all of them.
White helmets are welcomed at executions staged by jihadists.
They're welcomed at executions. Right there, right beside terrorists, all right? Terrorists will execute them, and then they film a video like they're saving somebody. That guy doesn't need saving. He's already dead. They're on standby with the terrorists. And we just showed you that the white helmets were flying ISIS, Al-Nusra flags. All right? All the resources they do, the humanitarian, they only help terrorists. They don't help the Syrians. The Syrian people on the ground, there's videos of them saying, white helmets don't care about us. They're terrorists. They help terrorists.
Point trying to rescue that fellow.
Again, you won't see it on CNN, MSNBC, or any of the major news networks. LA Times, Washington Post. U.S. UK government said that they, together with the white helmets, over $70 million. Here they are.
These white helmets. I'm proud to say we're giving them another, I think, £32 million.
The Western officials who are supporting the terrorists during the last 5 years in Syria, either by providing them with political umbrella or supporting them directly. The West always try to personalize things, and just to avoid the real problem, which is about deposing government and getting rid of certain president, just to bring puppets to suit their agenda. So again, going back to the beginning, no, I don't care about what Kerry said at all. It has no influence on me.
Again, United States funds terrorism. You're never going to see these videos on CNN, MSNBC, but fact. So everything that the Iranian said in that article is fact. All right, and American influence is dwindling. They're getting weaker. The American dollar is collapsing right now. There is no end to the Syrian war. All right. Isaiah 14:10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? All right, and this prophecy is being fulfilled. I just read that article. Iran is speaking out against U.S. Every other country is just blatantly pulling their gold out of the Federal Reserve. You know, Gaddafi, when he tried to do that, they killed him and overthrew Libya. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Now, Joel, the 3rd chapter. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, your pruning hooks into spears, which they have been doing, and they've been building up their military. Iran has nuclear weapons. North Korea has nuclear weapons. I just heard what North Korea did was actually a political move to position themselves better. All right. Let the weak say I am strong, which is what they're doing right now. Turkey taking their gold out of the Federal Reserve. Iran taking their gold out of the Federal Reserve. Iran positioning themselves and telling U.S., you better keep the nuclear deal that we set. You know, they are in a position of, they have a voice now. All right. And we'll see. And if Trump actually does that, it shows weakness. All right. Which Trump? He's controlled by the military industrial complex. All right. Again, Eisenhower, he warned everybody about the military industrial complex. He let everybody know I can't even do anything to stop him. He was a 4-star general. All right. Which is why, you know, Trump was totally against the war. Now you see him just buddy with the Saudi Arabian prime minister or princes of Saudi Arabia more than any other president because the military industrial complex has him. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. Gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Again, the war in Syria is going to continue, and ultimately it's going to lead into a confrontation between America, Iran, America, and Russia, which is going to lead into World War III. We're in the midst of World War III right now. We're in proxy wars with Russia, with Iran, all of them right now, all right? And Israel and Saudi Arabia is in bed with the United States of America, and this conflict is really coming to a head now. So again, I just want to say Barakatah Yahweh Shah Mashiach, Kol Halo Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, double honors apostle elders of Great Millstone, who are the holy apostles and prophets mentioned in the book of Revelation. Bless the Akim that are pushed somewhere in true sincerity, and all you men of Great Millstone. I say Barakatham, Bahasham Yahweh Shah Mashiach, Waha, Racha, Quadash, and Shalom.